This is for Jacques Pepin's omelet. I told you. We talked many times about how a French omelet, a classic French omelet, is often
a true test of choosing a cook.
Which unfortunately,
it's an interview.
Most cook these days can't cook a French omelet. Not even close. If you say French omelet, they'll probably make you an American omelet or, just a country style omelet.
A diner omelet.
A diner omelet.
Which is okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
I love those.
There's nothing
Western
wrong with
omelets
that.
right up my alley.
Yeah, we're not on diner omelets.
It's just a style. It's
just
a style omelet.
It's a different style, yes.
That's hard to perfect.
It's very creamy and very soft, very nice, which is the way the classic omelette should be.
Perfection.
Chef BriantsAo here, not your typical chef, owner of Mission Sandwich Social, located in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, winner of Beef Bobby Flay Season 1, and today I'm going to be reacting to Learn Jacques Pepin's famous omelet techniques, together with your favorite co-host, Chef Paul, Frenchy, the animal, Dynamiel. Before I go on with today's episode, I do want to give a special shout out to my amazing new patrons, Richard Flugoft, I hope I pronounced that right, and Jazzy Deb. Guys, thank you so much for your support. It really means so much to me. You'd support me on this level, and for the rest of you, make sure you're subscribed, hit the notification bell, because if you don't, I'm sending Frenchy after you.
If I had to judge who technically a chef is, I probably would ask him to do an omelette.
There you go.
It's difficult to make a real good omelette, and there is different type of omelette. I'm going to show you two type of omelette. A kind of country French omelette, which is basically the way we do it in America, and then a classic French omelette.
Notice he's cracking the eggs
on a flat surface. That gives you a nice crack.
Yes.
When you do it on the side, it gets splinters.
Yes. Give it a try, people. I've mentioned this many times and can't believe how many times people have fought me in the comment section.
And then you could do it one-handed.
Yeah.
One is not better than the other. It's just a different technique.
I love that he identifies
taste, a different look that you have in it. In the first one, I'm doing an omelette with 4 eggs here. In the first one...
Do you realize this is like the 80s?
Mm-hmm. This is an original PBS old
I'm
school
older than him.
Really?
Now than he is in that.
Oh, okay. Right. Then he is in that video. Yeah, no, he's old now. He's
in good health.
Is he?
Yeah. Okay. That's Shaq when he comes over. They hang together a lot.
You mean Jacques Torres?
Yeah.
Oh, they hang out?
Yeah.
Oh, sick. Okay.
All these French old,
Yeah.
All these old.
So when Frenchy's talking about Jacques, he means Jacques Torres, the chocolatier, whom you worked under, and you were actually literally just on the phone with his wife to get the okay for us to react to one of Jacques' clips.
Yeah.
That you had a couple of pretty humorous jokes on, but yeah.
But that's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't like to. This is what I appreciate comedians because they perfect jokes, right? And they'll do the same joke over and over and over, and they gotta make it sound fresh. Like if I say something funny, I'm not saying it again.
Right. Well,
it's a one and done thing.
Well, good thing is
good thing I got a billion of them coming out.
But also a good thing is you have short-term memory, so in 24 hours you probably won't remember it. So when we do it on the podcast, it'll be fresh in you again.
True that.
Let's keep watching. Oh, I also want to mention that Jacques clarifies that there's nothing wrong with a country-style omelet. It's just a different texture, it's a different flavor, yada, 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 right?
That's of pepper. All I'm going to do is to stir it well.
Did you see how he poked the egg yolks?
And cook it so that I have fairly large curd of egg and slightly brown all around.
Okay, when he says curd, what does he mean? Slightly large curd.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't know.
All right, when you cheese curds, for example, it's basically like a nugget, right? The size of a nugget. Why are you... What is on your mind?
I love how you always, you ask me for definition, right, but you end up doing it all the time.
Because I'm trying to get you involved.
I get involved when I feel like it, okay?
You, man. Sometimes I could use your help.
Oh, do you not know what a curd is?
I know what a curd is. It's just it would be nice if once in a while you gave an explanation.
When it becomes a body of its own.
Yes, there we go. All right. So when you cook eggs, it coagulates, it stiffens up. You can have large curds, you can have smaller curds, right? The more you manipulate the egg during the cooking process as it solidifies. Stop!
I had a good poop joke there. Oh, but I'm not gonna do it.
More you stir it around, you'll get smaller curds. Okay, that's what he means by curds.
Which is the look and the taste that we want to do country-like. A little piece of butter in there. And I have here a beautiful pan, because that pan doesn't have any corner. You see it has a beautiful sway. It's a non-stick pan, so it's ideal. It's an omelette pan, actually. Now notice that my eggs, to start with, I have
not
no pieces
ideal.
of egg white
It's
hand.
ideal.
So it's not like you just stir the eggs back and forth. You have to go from one hand to the other to really break it so that you don't have any long piece of egg white. Otherwise, you have those becoming white in the plate.
Yeah, big loogies.
In the skillet as it cooked. So what
And you're
we
also
do
incorporating
here-
air.
Yes, and it softens up the egg, right? Yeah, so the eggs.
Great way to do it now is a little hand mixer. You can incorporate the air,
Right.
and it definitely gets rid of all
the why of wanting air in your egg is that it'll soften it. You know,
and it'll give you volume.
it'll give you volume as well. So if that's your jam,
And
if
more
you-
an airy bite.
Right. If you like lighter, fluffier eggs, you're gonna want to whisk it more, and it'll incorporate more air because eggs have proteins, and the proteins is what's gonna help capture the air.
Okay, hurry up.
Just like
I'm excited about this video.
Oh God, just like in whipped cream, if you whip air, it'll hold air. Same thing with eggs. Okay.
In the country omelette, let it brown a little bit. See the eggs, the butter here will be brown a little bit, which in the classic omelette I don't want to brown. So clean up your pan good.
So he's showing us the lesser
And here you don't
omelet.
have to worry too
In
much
his
to
mind
move
and in
it
most French
occasionally
chefs'
to-
mind, this is the lesser omelet.
Right. And again,
He's not saying that, but it is.
there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it.
Take the large curd like this. And those
This is
large
before the
curd
days of
replace them
scraping
by
Teflon.
Right. Yes,
This will-
you're
Like,
right.
This is
because-
this is
Yeah.
totally 80s because
Yeah.
now you're like, oh, don't do this.
Yeah, I know. You know, I made a omelet video a long time ago, or not an omelet video. I was making a scrambled egg video or egg sandwich video, and I was using one of those. It was a non-stick pan, but it wasn't Teflon. It's one of those newer types of
Ceramic?
Ceramic, right? And I was using a metal fork on it, and people were just freaking.
It's like, dude, it's ceramic.
Yeah, yeah,
And they're like, huh?
yeah.
Huh?
They still get metals in there. Well, when you go outside and breathe in New York City, you're breathing it. God, that air's bad for you. So
And you know what it is, right?
what is it? Car exhaust.
No, it's brake dust.
Oh, yes, you're
Yes.
right. Yeah,
So it's literally metal.
yeah.
All that dust, it's go get a magnet.
Everything's bad for you. Everything's bad. Everything's dangerous.
it's true.
Just live a little. Okay.
So have a cookie.
Yeah, have a cookie.
You might not be happy before the cookie. You might not be happy after you have the cookie.
but you'll
be happy while you
during
eat the cookie.
Yes, yes.
It will be totally different in the classic French omelette, where I move the mixture very, very fast, as fast as I can, to have the smallest possible curd. No browning at all, because the browning.
Man, that scraping is.
I want something very.
you can't
tender,
unsee it now,
very
huh?
You can't unsee it.
soft In a classic French omelette. In the country style,
now-
is different.
So now you're switching
how long
this
do you
to the
cook
wooden
it?
spoon. They have that wooden little spatula, which is perfect for those omelets.
Yeah. Yeah. So nowadays, what I do if I want to get the small curds, which later he's going to make a French omelet and he wants to achieve a small curd, is I actually use chopsticks, wooden chopsticks, to stir the eggs. It gives me nice small curds.
Why? Because you're Asian?
No, because it's a good tool for the job.
Don't
not
be
just 'cause
sending
it's
hate
Asian.
comments now.
Oh, God. I'm not using chopsticks because it's Asian.
No,
Why?
I was
'Cause
like, no, I gotta
I'm
represent.
Asian?
I
'Cause
gotta
I'm Asian?
represent.
I need to represent all
I
the
gotta
time. I'm
represent.
Asian.
What's a French tool that I can bring to the a bottle of wine? Why is this not working? Or a baguette? Why is this not working?
Pack of cigarettes.
Pack of cigarettes.
2 cigarettes.
Dude.
What?
I used to work for my uncle, and he didn't give a but he used to smoke cigars. But those little cigars in the kitchen, you were not allowed to smoke it. But
No, absolutely.
But he
not.
didn't. He was like, and the ash would just stay. We would put bets on when the ash would fall. And he would smoke it, and he'd work and move, and that whole ash would never fall.
Really? Remember?
He used to be able to tell when it was going to fall, and then he would plop it and then put it and go and rinse it out.
No shit.
But I always I've never seen it fall into a dish or anything like that.
Well, I've worked at
Now,
China.
meanwhile, we're talking like the 70s people, so relax.
Well, I worked in the 2000s at Chinese restaurants where they're smoking on the line, and then like the fucking ash falls into the fried rice, and the guy's like, huh? He doesn't even blink. He doesn't even do that.
Actually, there's nothing wrong with it. The ash.
Is there?
No, there's nothing wrong, because I remember my grandmother. She used to make coffee in the fire, and then she would pull out a stick that had like embers in it, and she would drop it into the coffee to stir it, and it gave it an amazing flavor.
Really?
And that had ash on it and everything.
Yeah, but that's not cigarette ash.
I'm just saying you're not gonna die from
Yeah,
it.
well, I mean, listen, there's even cheeses with ash in it. You know, they put a layer of ash, and then so I guarantee some of you have eaten ash before.
Yeah.
So don't even think of clicking away or fast forwarding until you've heard what I have to say, particularly those of you who are looking for a new desk like this standing desk I have here by the sponsor of today's video, FlexiSpot. I've had my FlexiSpot E7 desk for a couple weeks now to put it through its paces to really give it a genuine try, as this is my first standing desk. Now, despite standing on my feet for countless hours for nearly 2 decades, I love this table. I actually do like to stand and work. It's how I'm used to working most of the time. But what's great is with this desk, I can start in a sitting position if I wanted to, like so. But when I want to, I can stand up, and I gotta tell you, I really do like the workflow. I think it's actually great for my posture, and it gives me a lot of variability. So I can stand, I can sit, I can stand, I can sit. I'm also very impressed with the build quality and how sturdy this table is. I thought it would be a little wonky, but working on it for a couple weeks now, I gotta tell you, it is rock solid. And the amount of weight that this table can support, you can see it is lifting my daughter up and down with zero effort. And that's very important because I do plan to add some extra stuff to this table, like additional monitors and more equipment. So this table is gonna need to take a heavier load. Now, what's even more awesome is that FlexiSpot offers so many designs, colors, and price points. Basically, there's something for everybody. Do yourself a favor and check out FlexiSpot by visiting the link in the description below, and make sure you use promo code YTB15 for 10% off of any order over $500. Again, that's promo code YTB15 for 10% off of any order over $500.
To you, you can have it slightly wet in the center. I like it a bit wet.
That's what she said.
Here, my omelet is still a little bit wet here, which is the way I like it personally.
Flip it!
I would probably brown it just a minute or so.
Oh, no, he's rolling
kind
it.
of fold it in half like this.
Diner omelet.
I would, at that point, maybe
I would have
put
flipped
a little
it,
piece
cook
of
it just
extra
slightly,
butter
and then...
if I want, in the bottom here, to brown the bottom of my omelet.
All right, I'm sorry. You were saying you would have flipped it first, cooked it for a quick second, and then fold it?
Yeah.
No, I like what he did here. What I really like is that extra dab of butter at the end. That's the way to go. That's the way to go.
And now I'm ready to invert the omelet. This way here, you change hand, you grab the handle this way.
Yes.
You bang it a little bit to make it slide to the end, and you turn it upside down.
Technically, when he's going to do the next omelet, he's going to roll it the same way.
Yeah, and he's also going to grab it on the pan handle underhand as well.
We are predicting the future here, even though it's a video from the 80s.
When you grab the pan underhand to flip, you actually have way more control. So keep that in mind when he does the French omelet. It's actually vital for the French omelet.
Nice, beautifully brown omelet. This is a country omelet, but you can see fairly large curd and all this. One way of doing it.
Okay.
It's also, you do an omelet souffle. You know,
right.
It'll look like that, and then it'll fluff up. You know, you incorporate the egg whites as like you do with a souffle, and then you do it that way. And then usually, traditionally, you can serve jam in it or something.
Oh, hell yeah. So this is what I mean by the big curds. You see these big chunks of egg, right? He's not trying to get like rice-sized.
He's not
egg
getting
kernels.
it smooth.
Exactly. Exactly. Again, nothing wrong with that. That's gonna be delicious.
Imagine
as
a
fuck
baby's
right
ass. That's gonna be the perfect omelet. That's your ass. It looks like your ass.
When have you seen my ass?
Well, I imagine it looks like that.
Now for the classic French omelette, the technique is different. First, clean up your plate, your skillet rather.
Now that
Put it
if he's
there.
using the same pan, he's
They have
smart
a
because
great
now
amount
that's
of heat
already
on that,
seasoned.
Yep.
It's gonna work that much better.
So yes, it's you're gonna have a much easier time with having a well-seasoned pan because you want it as non-stick as possible. That's just simply
If you're on the
what it
line
is.
and all you're doing is omelet, the first omelet is
It's
gonna
gonna rough. It's gonna suck. Yeah.
Unless
and you're talking about plain stainless steel
Yeah.
pan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it is doable.
Yeah.
But
It's just you just gotta time the heat.
right.
You gotta time it right.
Right. So back in the day, before stainless steel
But
pans,
your
I'm
second
sorry.
omelet in, you're cooking.
Right. Back in the day, before non-stick pans, rather, there was no non-stick technology, so they just had to use cast iron or stainless steel
Yeah.
pans. But like you said, the first one is going to suck because it's not seasoned, right? But by the second, the third one, and
You're rolling. You're
it's,
cooking.
Yeah, it's easy.
We're cooking with fire now.
There you go. But why Frenchy is saying that this pan is going to be even more conducive to making a French omelet
Which
is
makes sense, the order that he's showing these omelets
yeah,
now.
because he didn't need as much refinement on that first omelet.
No.
Right? But the pan is already nonstick. In addition, it has a nice thin layer of grease, which you notice he did not clean with soap and water. He just took a piece of paper towel because he wanted that grease. And he's going to add more butter.
This is what I want for an omelette, and as you see, it is a gas stove, and of course the gas is going to be much better than electric because you want to have the flame to go around, and a good stove should
Yes.
give you a great amount of heat.
That's
for an
debatable
omelette.
today.
Well, yes, induction stove technology is much better. I'm actually very glad he brought this up because normally with an electric stove, there's two types. There's induction, which is based on magnets that creates a reaction. But even induction stoves, there's a very specific area where it heats up. The really good ones will give you that even heating. That's one hard part about cooking with cheaper induction equipment. Like what I have at my shop there, it's all typically cheaper induction equipment. It
Yeah,
only
but we
has
like
one
to
hot
play
spot.
with the geography of where the fire is too.
Right.
So if you
But-
can't, it's for the novice. It's not
Yeah.
as it won't. It's you're better off with the gas because you can see where the fire is.
Well, that's what I was getting at. Is the fire is a much more even heat across the entire surface. That's one great benefit of fire. And then the coil type electric stoves, those are
no.
terrible. Those are very hard to work with.
that shouldn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
For an omelette as well at a very low setting if you want to simmer something. So there again I have 4 eggs. In that omelette this time I put a little bit of chive.
Yep.
Actually a classic
That's
omelette
classic
Finzer,
French
pioneer
omelet.
of the omelette
Finale.
in France you have chive, parsley, tarragon and chervil, which is a classic omelette. But this one just a chive omelette. So you can see here that my pan is hot, but I don't want it as hot as the other one. So again,
He's gonna go in with that metal fork, isn't
and
he?
now,
Something so
contrary
satisfying
to
about
what
making
I
this
did
omelet,
before,
though.
Just letting the eggs get into large curd here with the bowl of the fork. I want to bring
Okay,
this.
aside from him using the metal fork on the Teflon, and literally everyone who's watching this video with us right
Yeah.
now is probably freaking the f out. The technique is correct. This is why I use wooden chopsticks, because you can scrape onto the pan and not worry about removing Teflon or anything
But
like
if-
that.
but
But,
if you-
but this was a different time.
But if your situational awareness is correct,
Mm-hmm.
you can almost do it without it. Like
Yeah.
if the heat's right and
if you hover the fork
Yeah.
right on top. But you can hear him scraping right now.
yeah.
However, again, this was a different time. People didn't know as well, so.
This around and stir it as fast as I can.
Oh, that sound could also be
The bottom of
pan,
the
the
pan.
bottom of the pan. You know.
Smallest
That wasn't on the
possible
bottom of the
curd, and at the end of it, about at the end of it, like now, I want to bring all of the mixture I bring on this side. As you can see, basically everything is there. That is, instead of having one layer, which I roll like a carpet, everything
Notice
is there.
also how
Run my
low is
knife
he?
around.
You know, he started hotter. I don't think they showed him turning down the heat a little bit. Or maybe he didn't have it high at any point. But just notice that it's not
he's also working faster.
yeah, he's working faster, but it's not a ripping high heat. With a French style omelet, to get the small curds, which you can see,
But an expert when it comes to a line and that's all you're making, you should be doing this on the highest heat and going fast, and you should be compensating those skills to adjust to that heat.
Yes, but also you can compensate by literally lifting the pan up. Yeah.
Bring back the lid.
Look at that.
And you can see here, I want to have a nice half moon shape. Run this behind to bring back that lip. Hit it there.
Look at that. Oh,
You can see, bring it up, then push it down.
Perfect.
You want a nice corner. And you don't even want to brown it further.
He doesn't even need to
This is
towel
the time
roll it.
between the lip now that you would want to stuff
What's
it.
towel rolling?
If you have a clean kitchen towel, you can, when the demand is great, and because that's time consuming. You could just put it in the plate, put the towel over it, and shape it, and then go.
Right.
We change hand again.
Look, over
Bring that
underhand.
this way. Next, bang it to have it to the edge of the pan, then invert it.
Perfect.
A classic omelette, which should be white like this, or pale yellow. Just point it at the end.
Look at that shape. It's got that hump. It's tapers on each end, and inside is going to be nice and creamy. Oh,
it's perfect.
Love a French omelet.
Smooth without any pleat. This is what a classic French omelette is. And as you can see,
That's closest to one of the perfect dishes that exist.
I would agree.
The simplicity.
Yes.
Simplicity at its best.
Yes.
Look at that. Oh.
I said before,
both
one
are
is
delicious.
not really necessarily better than the other. It's a different technique and a different taste. The curds are going to be much harder here. And if I cut this one open to show it to you, then you will see that the center of that omelette is very creamy and very soft and very nice, which is the way the classic omelette should be.
Perfection. Thank you.
It's good to see you happy.
That was good.
Next, I'm gonna f you up. Oh man! All right. So, Frenchy, you happy?
Very.
You enjoyed this?
Yeah.
All right.
I make those omelets every weekend.
Yeah. I try to make it a couple times a week for my daughter just to keep up with it. You know, just because there's something so immense. I remember the first time I learned it in culinary school. I never had a French omelet until I went to culinary school, and I was just like, that is the.
It's fun.
And I just love making French omelets. In fact, I'm gonna make my daughter a French omelet tomorrow.
But the Japanese have taken that skill to another level.
A whole nother level. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, those are fun videos to
But there's one style that's too wet. I don't like it. It's just too soupy.
Right.
And then there's another one that they do in the pan, and they add egg little by little, and then they roll it, and then they add the egg again, and they roll it.
Right. That's a type of omelet that's been around for ages.
In that rectangular pan.
Yeah, I've had that type of omelet since I was a young kid. My mom would make it. She wouldn't do it in the rectangular pan, but she would just roll it and cut it up, and you would have these little, almost like biscotti-sized egg nuggets with seaweed and veggies inside. Oh, so
rolled
good.
into it?
Yeah.
Ooh,
mainly seaweed. It was mainly seaweed. It was so good. Frenchy, guess what?
What?
New merch drop. Remember on the podcast, our first ever Feasty Boy segment, we went to a restaurant called Han Song Ting, and the entire time you thought I was calling you Handsome Thing.
Yes, I remember. We're wearing the t-shirts, are we?
Well, I had the design made. You loved it. And guess what? They have the B-roll. You don't have to shove it in their faces.
I was being practical.
And guess what, Frenchy? The Handsome Thing tees are now available for pre-order. Link in the description below. But why, Frenchy? What is the why should they be pre-ordering now? Because what happens if they don't pre-order?
Limited production, baby.
Yes, there you go. Once they are gone,
they're gone.
They're gone forever.
So can I put a special request into my 10%?
The 10% club.
Hop on it. Wait, that doesn't sound right. Or does it?
Visit the link in the description below and pre-order your Handsome Thing tee today. Before we close out this episode, I do want to say thank you to all of my amazing patrons. Guys, thank you so much for your support. And remember, for the rest of you, by becoming a patron, you get to take advantage of some awesome perks like early access to new episodes, uncensored extended versions of certain episodes, and most importantly, patron exclusive content. Hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as we did making. And remember, don't be afraid to fail because it can only make you stronger. With that said, I'm Chef Briantsao, not your typical chef.
Subscribe. notify, and don't forget our podcast, So You Wanna Get Fat.
Yeah, you're getting good at this, buddy.
I did that for you.
You did that for me.
Paulie out.
Bye.
Find a silent